The following program is rated TV MALV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audience.
Yo. It's TTB After Dark, episode 56. Law present Antifa. Today is June 23rd, 2026. And yeah, man. We got a lot going on today. Right now, the NBA draft. That's why I got the jersey on, man. You know, hey, I still miss Luke. I ain't gonna lie. I still miss that dude, man. Man, I couldn't imagine he was here with Cooper Flag, but that's another story. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on, man. Got Texas Antifa getting sentenced. We got some developments on the Samantha Guthrie's mother's case. I can't remember her first name, but like a lot of stuff. We're gonna probably go through the video of the Karmelo, the whole Karmelo situation. And it's a lot of other stuff, man. Man, Hasan and Asmongold, man, they've been going hard all week. Okay, what just happened? They got Dairy Queen. That's right. So y'all know the deal. Like, share, subscribe, man. If y'all watching the replay, please leave a comment so I get this algorithm, man. You know, try getting in the YouTube streets and in the Rumble streets, you know what I'm saying? So show your boy some love. And let's start with this. This is the Samantha Guthrie's mother case. This is sad here.
That the second ransom note in the investigation indicated that the 84-year-old died after she was abducted.
Todd Pyro joins us with the details. Good morning, Todd.
A tough update here. Good morning to all three of you. The note said Nancy was, quote, buried with nature. The sender or senders of the first two ransom notes have not been publicly identified, and there have been no reported arrests in connection to them. The notes were received within days of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. The first note demanded millions in Bitcoin in exchange for Nancy's return. Savannah Guthrie spoke out about the two notes back in March.
I believe the two notes that we received, that we responded to, I tend to believe those are real.
Man. Authorities have not publicly or confirmed or denied the note's authenticity, I should say. And we're now learning no money or Bitcoin was ever sent in response to the ransom demands. Images from Nancy Guthrie's doorbell cam showing a masked man at her house.
Messed up.
These were released early on in the investigation, but as we know, the suspect has not been identified. Savannah Guthrie sending a message to the suspected kidnappers back in February.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
Investigators have been searching for Nancy since she was taken from her.
That's messed up, man. Couldn't imagine that, man. Somebody snatched up my mom or anything like that, man. It's awful, man. Real talk. Man, some people, hey, it's evil in the world, y'all. Real talk, it's evil in the world. So,
her home in Tucson,
Yeah,
Arizona in February. There is a $1.2 million reward for any information leading to an arrest in the case or the recovery of Guthrie or her remains. Anyone with any information is being asked to call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Back over to you.
I hope that family gets some closure. Thank you so much, Todd.
man, just, just thinking of somebody, like my mama, somebody, if I found out somebody gonna tuck her, man, I don't know how it would be. I ain't gonna lie. We might not see eye to eye all the time, but like that's still my mama. I wouldn't, man. I wouldn't know what I would do. I ain't want to put that in the air, man. So yeah, it's that sad story. And speaking of, hold on, quick. Give me 1 second. So, with that being said, man, I'm getting more news stuff. So, President Trump, he was up in, I want to say Pennsylvania, and talking about they might be pushing for a national right to carry law. All right, what's going on? All right. By the way, I might have to pause this because the Maris pick is in. I want to when they announce, I want to have the actual voice of it. So before I get on Trump talking about national right to carry, which is a big deal, especially like because that's one of the biggest deals. If you're you carry a gun, like you don't know which state you could actually do that in legally and everything. It's a kind of convoluted mess. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more. I'm waiting on them to do the. Come on now. All right. So yeah, we'll talk. I'll go more about it. I just want to see who the Mavericks take before I don't want to be distracted. And they take it to the pick in. Yeah. I hope everybody having a good day, man. Like I actually had an easy day. I came home, took me a long nap, man. Sometimes it ain't nothing like coming home from work, taking a shower, take a long nap, not being bothered. Cause like the kid, hold up. Dusty May, man. I meant to talk about that yesterday. Yeah, we the Dallas Mavericks got a new coach, Dusty May, coach out of Michigan. And they won the national championship. Oh, here we go. Oh man. Oh damn. All right. I wasn't expecting that. I would think we're gonna get a point guard, but that works too, man, because he gonna match good with Cooper. Yeah. I ain't gonna talk about that. I'll do another video on another channel. But hey, let's get back to this. All right. This is him. This is Trump in Pennsylvania. Here we go.
The NRA, everybody, they really have been. They've been with me right from the beginning. And Bill asked me, would I support the national right to carry legislation? How do you feel about national right to carry?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's my free poll. You know what that is? That's a free poll. I don't have to pay $300,000 to somebody that doesn't even do polling, you know, to give you phony numbers. See, those are real numbers. National right to carry. Yeah, we're working on it. The NRA, everybody.
Yeah, you get natural right to carry, man. That'd be a big win. And mix that with changing the marijuana, the weed classification. That's a big deal, man. And plus, it's you know, especially when things going on like this. I mean, this. So this happened. This whole scenario happened roughly 10 miles from me. So going due south.
8 defendants convicted in the Prairieland ICE detention center attack case will be sentenced today in federal court in Fort Worth. So far, only 3 have learned their fates. Benjamin Song was sentenced to 100 years in prison. Cameron Arnold and Zachary Evans were both sentenced to 50 years. Dang. It comes more than 3 months after a federal jury found the group guilty following a 12-day trial stemming from an incident last July 4th outside the detention center in Alvarado. 8 defendants were convicted of charges including rioting, providing material support to terrorists, and explosives-related offenses. Benjamin Song was also convicted of attempted murder in the shooting of an Alvarado police lieutenant. The others face possible sentences ranging from 10 years to life. 8 defendants convicted in the Prairie.
Oh, the leader. This is the leader. I'm sure. I mean, of course, he's of the community and everything. I mean, no offense to that and everything, but yeah, man. Like, damn, 100 years. He getting 100. Man, everybody thought. See, Texas don't play, man. Hey, we don't play. That's why I'm like, hey, y'all got chill. Y'all moving down here, y'all got chill, man. Y'all can't, hey, especially this terrorism thing. They got him. They said, all right, yeah, we got you. You ain't, you know, we didn't put you up out of there. You're gonna do this 100 years, man. And a lot of people, and I don't even think he's eligible for parole. Like, if he is eligible for parole, like he eligible like at year 60 or something like that. Ooh, boy, 100 years. Man, dang. So yeah, that was a big news of the day down here, especially because like that I remember when that happened because that happened. Then the situation at the ICE facility in downtown, close to downtown Dallas, that went down. So it was a whole sporadic. Then that movie came out. I'm man, like one day, one bout after another, that came out, man. Like that was the wrong time for that movie to come out. I don't think like Hollywood was bigging up it, but I don't think a lot of people went to go watch that movie, man. And I watched it, and man, like I said, it was cringy. I ain't gonna lie, that movie was cringy after that, knowing all this was going on. So it was almost like they were trying to push people to the edge to do that stuff, do more stuff, right? So yeah, man, 100 years for the leader, and this him right there. Believe it or not, that's a him. Yeah, man, and they getting life, and man, it's crazy. And speaking of more DOJ stuff, the DOJ has announced some charges against 455 defendants across 45 states for healthcare fraud schemes, including over $6.5 billion in false Medicare and Medicaid claims.
This is just the beginning. Fraudsters can no longer rip off American taxpayers. If you seek to harm or cheat Americans, we will find you, seize any assets, and prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. Thank you very much. I'm going to turn it over now to Secretary Kennedy. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney General Blanche, and thank you to the White House Fraud Task Force, to Colin McDonald of the Justice Department, to Director Kash Patel of the FBI, to the HHS Office of Inspector General, Dr. Oz and the CMS team, and the investigators and law enforcement officers who brought these cases forward. President Trump directed this administration to confront healthcare fraud aggressively, and we are doing that. The 2026 National Healthcare Fraud Takedown uncovered $6.5 billion in alleged fraud, the second largest amount ever charged in a single.
Ooh, man, it was scamming hard, man. Ooh. I go back, I hear that again.
2026 National Healthcare Fraud Takedown uncovered $6.5 billion in
$6.5 billion
alleged fraud, the second largest amount ever charged in a single healthcare fraud operation. The Department of Justice charged a record number of Medicaid fraud defendants. More than 440 defendants now face charges. This effort brought together federal agencies, state partners, and U.S. territories across the United States. 18 of the participating states, as Attorney General Blanche pointed out, were blue states with Democratic governors. Fraud does not recognize party lines, and neither does accountability. Today's cases include the largest Medicaid fraud enforcement action in the Department of history, 165 defendants charged with allegedly submitting more than $200 million in false claims to Medicare.
Man, they scheme, man. 200 million.
Allegedly submitting more than $200 million in false claims to Medicaid. These schemes did not target government programs. They targeted the American taxpayer. They stole money from workers who pay taxes, from families who depend on Medicare and Medicaid, and from patients who trusted their healthcare professionals to be serving their health interests when it turns out they were just chasing money from our agencies. The allegations in these cases are particularly disturbing. Some defendants allegedly ordered medically unnecessary tests. Others prescribed products that patients did not need. Some allegedly fueled opioid addiction to increase their own revenue. In certain cases,
I wonder why all the drugs going on. It's one of the reasons. Not even going on the drug situation. It's one of the reasons why they are pushing to change the legalization classification on marijuana, because of the and President Trump talked about it yesterday. I had it yesterday. Like they have to kind of do something different, because opioid addiction is bad. Like, it's crazy right now. I mean, if you nine times out of 10, like, a lot of the homeless either like vets or they got hooked on these opioids and then went to something more cheap, then end up getting hooked and, strong arm in that situation. With the drugs, I should say. So yeah, man, like it's bad. I want to say that's probably one of the biggest culprits of the homeless epidemic is the opioid crisis.
These patients allegedly died while believing they were receiving legitimate medical care from providers who only viewed them as billing opportunities. These defendants did not simply break the law. They violated the trust that patients place in medical professionals.
Yep.
One of today's indictments charged a hospice owner in Los Angeles area and two marketers in a $27.7 million Medicare fraud scheme. According to the indictment, the owner paid illegal kickbacks to obtain personal information of deceased Medicare beneficiaries.
So here's the thing. If you want, like I've been covering the Nick Shirley stuff with the Somalians up in Minnesota and stuff, which blew up. That story blew up to a lot of things. Like we probably wouldn't have had the Renee Good situation if the Nick Shirley thing didn't go down like it did. So yeah, like yeah, man. This is a direct action from the Nick Shirley stuff. Like him going to all these places trying to find fraud and everything. So citizen journalism does work, folks. Citizen journalism does work. And like hopefully they clean this stuff up. Hopefully we get some some laws, some that could make it harder for the fraud to happen. Make it have some more checks and balances, some more regulation on that. Like I'm usually not a person that's I'm typically not a person who will be pushing for more legal regulation. And honest God truth, like I would make an argument that if you don't allow so much funds to go to these programs, you want to have so much fraud because you have to be more mindful of where the money going. You have to have more checks and balances in that. So it'll regulate itself because the money will be finite, way more finite than it is now. So that's an argument to be made. That could be the self-regulation. It'll be a self-regulating situation if you kind of take a lot of the money that we've been given to Medicare and Medicaid. I know that's politically suicide in some cases, but I feel like like Medicare should not be this expensive. And one reason is this expensive is because government intervention in it. Because like somebody on the other side, I would say on the left, said that healthcare should be a right when it's a service. And once we get a hold of that, get a hold of spending, because like if you go look at our spending, our deficit, a lot of it is unfunded liabilities, I believe, which is basic stuff we promised that we just, that's just in the budget because we promised it and stuff. That's basically what it is. So like what I'm saying is, right, we start cutting that, more market solutions will happen. Like it'll be less likely to have fraud because you wouldn't need fraud because it'll be more affordable. Just because you're not having that free spigot of money going to healthcare like it is now. So it's a double-edged sword because like some people say, well, that goes into the research and all this stuff. But right now we see $6.5 billion just going to the ether. You know what I'm saying? You can find a way to cut that and put more stringent regulation on who creates certain healthcare providers and do, who can maybe there's one good thing about doing the whole weed legalization situation. Now you might not need to have so much medicine out there. Some of the CBD, some of the hemp products and stuff that's out now could probably take that some of the opioids place. It might not, it might be a long reach, but I'm just saying like there's ways we could probably cut this down so it could benefit both sides, but we will have to have two sides that really want to have a solution to this that's politically spent that could have the political capital to do so. I don't think the left will really provide any type of solution. We'll have to the right will have to make it happen. So speaking of healthcare, like Tulsi Gabbard been really talking about this. Like this is I believe this is like her last act as DNI, Director of National Intelligence. So she's going after Fauci really hard in this. And this is from the Megyn Kelly show. Megyn Kelly got, that's whole nother avenue there. But hey, here we go. Let's read.
But the thing that we are working with Jay Bhattacharya, the new NIH director, on with, as well as Secretary Kennedy, is looking at the gain of function research that in the case of the Wuhan lab, as well as many others around, many of these other biolabs around the world, was actually U.S. funded and leads to this dangerous kind of research that in many examples has resulted in either a pandemic or some other major health crisis.
Well, let me ask you specifically, because we already know that EcoHealth Alliance was partnering with this Wuhan lab to do gain of function research.
That's right.
We just have never been able to have somebody say, it was that exact experiment that led to this COVID bug. But have we gotten there? What's the new thing that you're digging in on?
We are working on that with Jay Bhattacharya and look forward to being able to share that hopefully very soon.
Okay.
That specific
link.
Correct, between the gain of function research and what we saw with COVID-19.
I mean, that would be extraordinary because just so the audience knows, if that's true, if it was Peter Daszak's research with the Wuhan so-called bat lady that caused this pandemic, then we did fund it. Then Anthony Fauci helped.
That's big, and like, I wonder how that's gonna go down with Fauci, because like I think the statute of limitations supposedly up, but I wonder how they'll play that. That's interesting, because like technically, I ain't want to go there. This is a whole interesting storyline in my opinion. We go back a little bit.
Research and what we saw with COVID.
I mean, that would be extraordinary because just so the audience knows, if that's true, if it was Peter Daszak's research with the Wuhan so-called bat lady that caused this pandemic, then we did fund it. Then Anthony Fauci helped fund the pandemic.
The thing that he denied over and over and over to Senator Rand Paul's questioning.
That's right, under oath.
Under oath.
So they got him on. That's a perjury trap right there.
Both, exactly. So is it any wonder that he sought a preemptive pardon for anything during a certain period of time?
So going back to you said preemptive pardon, right? So that's gonna link into Epstein too, by the way. That links in. Ooh. Wow. That links into the auto pen situation. So it's gonna get interesting because if they, I'm talking about Congress or whatever, they notify the auto pen pardons, that's gonna, oh man, shit's gonna hit the fan, especially Trump keep the House and Senate. It's gonna be some shit going on. But let's read.
By President Biden before he left office.
And then strong-armed and smeared people like Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, anybody who came out and said, I don't know if that's natural. This actually smacks of lab.
And the reason why this is so important is not just what happened in the past, it's because this gain of function research is happening in biolabs around the world. I got attacked, and I think you saw this, we've probably talked about it on your show before, when I warned against US-funded biolabs in Ukraine when the Russia-Ukraine war kicked off for this very reason. Who knows what kinds of pathogens are in these labs, and if released, could create another COVID-like pandemic.
I'll keep a buck with you. I got a lot of flack for this from my kin folks and stuff. Like the Ukraine thing, right? My theory on that is that was a handshake deal. I feel like there was a little handshake deal situation going on with that. What I mean by that is like Hunter was doing business with Ukraine, right? And he was dealing with business with Russia with that gas company he was a part of. So like it didn't make sense in my opinion, knowing like Russia really need to have like a good trade deal. Taking over Ukraine didn't make any sense. I understand Russia's point of view when it came to Ukraine want to be in the EU and NATO. I understand that point. Like NATO is one thing because NATO, like you got a direct line to the president office when you're dealing with NATO. So if there's any misunderstandings, it's basically they're gonna be calling, you know, the president or who, you know, the national security advisor, whoever in the league, that a State Department, whatever, you know, they have a direct link, so nothing untoward happens. But with the EU got their own agenda. So that part I understand Putin's point of view on that. Like, yeah, you don't really want to be, you can't be in both, like, because like EU got like I said, they got their own agenda. They're doing a lot of stuff. The immigration is out of control. We're gonna talk about that a little later with Asmongold. That whole situation is not a good. If I'm Russia, I wouldn't want that in Ukraine because you're a neighbor. There was one country. It was all of it was the Soviet Union at one point in time. And if y'all know anything historically about Ukraine, like Kyiv used to be the capital of all Russia before Moscow, way back in the game, in the gap. I'm about to say something. Had a phone slip. Way back in the day. And some will argue that's one of the birthplaces of Vikings. That's a whole nother story there. But yeah, I understood Putin's point, but like I think it was a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Let Russia get Ukraine. That's why like Biden was doing a little this and that. And what happened that with the places they bombed, that destroyed a lot of the evidence of Hunter's involvement with the with Ukraine and the underdealings and a lot of money being moved around and the whole quid pro quo. Yeah, I said that right. Situation with when Biden said you ain't gonna get this money if you do this. You know, that whole investigation of what they were trying to impeach Trump on for investigating it. That's the crazy part. He trying to investigate it and they trying to impeach him for that. And then this how crazy that shit linked into everything going on now. With that that impeachment hearing, that's when Trump dropped the dime on one of the Quid Forces general that was doing a lot of the terrorism, giving Hezbollah a lot of their stuff, Hamas a lot of their stuff. Yeah, he dropped a dime on them when he was in Iraq, which is crazy. Like that whole scenario was crazy. All during the hearing, his impeachment hearing. So if y'all ever thinking Trump ain't a gangster, like the worst thing you could do is put Trump in a corner, man. You don't want to do that. I mean, woe is to anybody mess around trying to do some nefarious stuff. If our political system put him in a corner, he gonna drop a dime on somebody. It's crazy. Let's read.
And for that, I was called a Russian asset. You're, trumpeting Putin's talking points.
Oh, that's crazy. She said that. Because, like, I remember, I think Hillary said something about her being a Russian asset all of a sudden. Back in, like, when she was running for back in 2020, she was running for be president. They chunked that on her, and she destroyed Kamala. And what's crazy, Kamala, she's leading the polls right now because what's in deep shit right now, Newsom. So yeah, man, it's getting interesting. But yeah, like she investigating the gain of function research. And all of a sudden, she's a Russian. She's a spy. She's this. She's that. When you try to figure out what's going on here. So it's weird how they always started. Because like once used to be like if somebody would start asking questions, like asking questions. But I'll give an example. This is a big conspiracy theory. Asking a question of how a felon like Charles Manson had access to all that LSD back in the gap. So that was a big thing about the CIA giving. I ain't say CIA. Well, some state. I'm not gonna say CIA anybody because I don't know. But some state actor was giving Charles Manson the LSD to give to the ranch, them people at the ranch. That ended up happening during the whole that whole scenario what happened in California back that the murders and stuff that went down. You said it's the whole helter skelter stuff. So like when people used to ask questions about that, they would make a term for people who ask questions. They'll call them conspiracy theorists. Even with the whole COINTELPRO stuff, when you saw talking about that, they'll label you a conspiracy theorist or whatever. So now, when you start questioning things that's going on in the government, like things that's weird, like why the whole Ukraine thing was going on. Oh yeah, you a conspiracy theorist, or you a Russian asset, or something like that. Or you start questioning 2020 in general. Oh, you a conspiracy theorist. So that's a way to shut you up. And it happens on both sides, but really hardcore with how the state does they business. They'll just call you crazy instead of answering the question. So you gotta be quick. So sometimes the question is more dangerous than the answer. You know what I mean?
All of this nonsense simply for speaking the truth and stating facts that, by the way, are still on U.S. Embassy Ukraine's website today about how the U.S. has funded these biolabs in Ukraine. But my point is, in order to prevent another COVID-like pandemic or another major health incident that could affect us in the world, we have to end this gain of function research and provide the evidence that shows exactly why and how it's in our best interest, the American people's best interest, to bring about an end to it.
So this the brick wall she gonna be going against, even saying this. So here's the issue. China's doing it. Russia's doing it. Or we have probably people have theorized they doing it. South Africa is a big player into the gain of function. They do a lot of stuff. I mean, where you think AIDS came from, allegedly, So like all these places, there's a lot of countries doing a lot of them in BRICS. What's up, Genesis One? It's a lot of these countries that does this situation, right? With the gain of function research and everything, right? So we'll be kind of in a disadvantage if we got rid of it, even though it's illegal. So like, it's a catch-22. Like, and then on top of that, who's the actor? I mean, all it takes is one bad actor in our government to set some stuff off. Like, it's a scenario. Like, one thing about, I read a lot of spy novels. Like, I don't not necessarily always read them. Sometimes I listen to my audio book, right? It's Audible. That's the app I use. So yeah, I listen to a lot of Tom Clancy stuff, and really Tom Clancy, he was a liaison to like the Pentagon stuff from back in the day and everything. He started making spy novels and stuff. He got real big during the Reagan administration. If you don't know his books, Hunt for Red October, Rainbow Six, Some of Our Fears, Executive Decision, Patriot Games. Patriot Games probably his first one. Just to name a few. So he on the original Rainbow Six, and like if y'all ever played The Division, that's a Tom Clancy storyline too. So the original one was it was basically some elites in the government that end up getting into the big pharmacy level like company. They start being corporate pharmacist type situation, right? They did like a gain of function. So, and it was environmentalists. So what their idea was, the whole plot in there, I'm just saying the plot was for them to create a weaker strain or something that everybody get, but like nobody would get super sick off of or whatever. It was like a version of like a flu or whatever, right? But then the vaccine and cure would actually be worse, than will actually activate a deeper strain inside the strain. And then it was like it will activate it, but it won't be contagious until a certain type of event. So like basically Rainbow Six, they had to go and stop that situation and, you know, apprehend the people. So that's basically the story of the original Rainbow Six book, right? And it's crazy reading those, then seeing what happened in 2020 and hearing about the gain of function research situations and, you know, hearing about this stuff. Like people, they kind of sometimes with fiction, they kind of use scenarios that probably been floating around in places of like the council foreign relations and stuff like that. They float a lot of this stuff around, and to kind of get people's minds together on how to respond to something like that. It's interesting how they do things. And if you listen to any spy novel, you'll have that scenario. So this is based on a news story on this. Hold up.
Fauci pushing the unproven theory that the COVID pandemic came out of a wet market in China, but then that was EcoHealth Alliance chief Dr. Peter Daszak, a friend of Dr. Fauci, admitting that the Wuhan lab in China was genetically creating, quote, killer super coronaviruses. This is gain of function research so as to sell vaccines. EcoHealth Alliance did get U.S. taxpayer money to do this dangerous research. And now former DNI Tulsi Gabbard declassified documents showing the CIA warned Dr. Fauci about a Wuhan lab accident where lab workers did get infected in late 2019. Let's bring in Dr. Peter McCullough. Doctor, what's your take on them talking about this? The documents show a government official under Joe Biden said they saw this video of Daszak talking about inserting spike proteins into viruses to make them super viruses more infectious to bind to human cells. What's your take?
Fauci, when he was talking about the wet lab, he was lying through his teeth. He knew all the while that SARS-CoV-2 was created in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And his influence was enormous through the intelligence community, the academic community.
That's crazy. That is insane. Hold on, I gotta do something real quick. Give me a second. Appreciate it, Phoenix. Yeah, so and that was room like Chinese. You can never really like be like, okay, believe what China's saying, because like they had a reason to not be super. Let me see.
Fauci pushed.
I gotta show y'all something funny a little later on. Oh, I need to drop the link. Let me drop the link. Y'all can come up here, man. I'm chilling tonight, man. So y'all want to see something crazy? It's from TMZ. So look, before I tell you this, this is a little traumatic here, right? And before I say this, before I show y'all this, there's a reason why they have seatbelts, restraints on roller coasters. All right. This is at Disneyland. And people about to get fired. What's up, Selena? People about to get fired here. So let's read. Some kid fell off the splash mountain. Oh shit. All right, I ain't gonna watch that anymore. I gotta see. He got it out right. Look like. So here's the thing, man. And I'm a roller coaster enthusiast. Me and my daughter, we just got season passes. And I'm very stringent on this stuff, right? I'm very stringent on this. I make sure she does everything right, because I've rode so many roller coasters in my life. I know the whole. I appreciate it. Yeah, Selena. Like you got. It's important. Like if y'all going to these theme parks with your kids and stuff, make sure they are in there like really good. And like Disneyland is really like easier. I ain't gonna say easier. It's more of a safe park in the first place. Something had to go on they must be doing something in the actual in the ride itself to take the restraint off or whatever. Something was going on, man, because like that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And like man, like y'all gotta be careful. Gotta check these kids. Don't do stupid stuff on these rides. Cause I see a lot of people, man, want to do this extra stuff, trying to be cool. Like these rides are when you you in the restraints properly, it's less likely anything gonna happen. They got so many computers on these rides now. They got it's so much stuff that they have so you can just have a good time and you be safe. Like you can't like there was a scenario that happened at me and Selena's home Six Flags in the Roaring Rapids. It still ain't open at Roaring Rapids because somebody had their phones and the phone fell in the water. You know what I'm saying? They tell you not to have phones on these rides for a reason. Like there's legit ways to, if you want to film something, like I have metal glasses. Some of the slow, like Roaring Rapids and some of the slower rides, like George Road Scream or the Mine Train or something like that. Yeah, you could probably have your sunglasses on. They ain't gonna know the difference. You can film all you want to film and everything. Now I'll say this: like if you want like go on the Titan or go on the new ride, the Tormentor and everything, Mr. Freeze. Oh yeah, Mr. Freeze, man. Like my daughter loved Mr. Freeze. Yeah. So like you gotta have the restraints on, man. Don't let see this is just somebody doing something stupid. I mean, I hate to be. I don't want to blame the kid because the kid probably don't know, but like somebody, you gotta. That's why, like, I'm not. I'm always gonna go with my daughters until they actually like in high school. Like that's cool when they go by themselves. Middle school, I'm rolling with them because kids do stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Kids do stupid stuff. I did stupid stuff when I was in middle school, man. Like I keep it a buck. Like eighth grade Six Flags trip when we went on the slow rides, one of them slow rides. Hey, I mean, that's when you have your first kiss and stuff. Like that's why I'm like, hey, I'm going with my daughters when they 13, 14, 15. You get in high school, you know better. You know the protocol. Now you act a fool in, I have to take a car away or something like that. But like 13, I mean, that's when all the kids, we are dumb as hell in doing that age. We still, it's like a middle of, you think you're a kid, you think you still, I mean, like you might still be watching, like, well, hell, people still watch anime and they grow like grown-ups and stuff. But you still you might still be in some kiddie stuff, but then you think you know everything too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, I'm 3 years away from that situation happening, even in my household. I remember them days, But like I wonder if dudes survive. I'm trying to see. Oh man, come on. See, X. I don't even want. Let me go and see more about this story. Oh, it happened. It happened Sunday. All right. Here's the story from Fox News. A 13-year-old Disneyland guest was medically evaluated after exiting a ride vehicle and sliding down the final 50-foot plunge on Tiana Bayou Adventure. That's the old Splash Mountain. They changed it. Like, that was a big controversy too. The incident occurred on Sunday. Oh man, I was in Six Flags during that day too. On Tion's Bayou Adventure, one of Disneyland's log flume rides, according to a Disneyland spokesperson. I hate the non-gender and English is stupid to me. The boy got out of the long ride vehicle before the attraction final descent. A cast member immediately stopped the ride, and the team was later taken to a local hospital for evaluation. Both person said he evaluated as a precaution and later released. Oh, good, he lived. He didn't 50 feet. Like it's a slide though. See, man, like if this was like Texas Giant stuff, he wouldn't have made it. I'll keep it a bucket. If he was Titan or something like that, one of these big like the hyper coasters, you know, on that type of time, yeah, he would have made it, man. Like you can't be playing on these rides like that. So that's a blessing there, man. He made it. I mean, he had, hold on. One radio was riding the attraction at the time, claiming that several passengers saw the boy 5 moments before the ride came to a stop. He attempted to exit the vehicle on top of the final drop. Another user wrote, the ride stop mechanism failed to engage or was already threshold free. Oh, come on. Like, man, like I said, you gotta raise your kids, man. Like, what was he thinking? All right, no, that's Ferris with. I just talking about other ones. So man, that's a blessing that nothing else happened. All right. So there was a video going on. Let's see if I can find that video. Hold up. I meant to get that video. This is a trip here. Let me up here. So this chick right here.
Yeah.
She stole a goddamn trash can because it had the Knicks colors. So apparently, all right, executive. She worked at JP Morgan Chase. Her name is Angie Baez, Dominican from the Bronx, first generation American, and probably definitely going to launch a podcast called Unconscious Baez in near future. She might need to get on that because I got yeah. So yeah, they proved that she is a employee of JP Morgan Chase, and she was a quote unquote DEI executive, which is, man, come on, you guys sit your head down. I'll tell you right now, look, I'm not gonna say one thing or other about DEI stuff, but just if you're a DEI executive, project manager and everything in these big corporations, you don't want to do anything gonna raise suspicion and raise eyebrows to your nature of working at that place. This is the last thing you want to do, because the thing is, the internet going to internet. People gonna figure out who you are, how you live and everything, what you work, where you work at, especially if you're doing something so outrageous, right? So yeah, this is not the play. And be that as it may, here we go. Breaking news: JP Morgan fired DEI exec who dumped and stole a Knicks NYC trash can. She was on a subway with a Knicks trash can. Come on, man. What are we doing here? So this is why I call a stupid criminal right here. This is dumb criminal shit right here, man. Like you bet like in this day and age where like DEI right now is like that's like a crimson. There's like a crimson letter on you if you're in corporate America because see the problem with DEI, not necessarily what it stands for and whatever, it's what it's been used for itself. Like coming from, like I said, I come from a comic book community, video game community, like pop culture, nerd stuff, right? And if you talk to somebody that's into some of the stuff like the Marvel stuff, the DC stuff, matter of fact, Supergirl is dealing with that right now. We'll talk about that tomorrow. You dealing with anything, and then they say, well, we hired a DEI consultant to run whatever platform or whatever show we better do. We had to do a remake of this show, but we need consultants here. That's like a dirty word for any fandom. Not necessarily saying, all right, diversity itself is not an issue. It's the all right, we'll have a fan favorite, but we're just gonna change this fan favorite because DEI reasons. So that what gave the bad taste into DEI stuff. Like then you got the whole Bud Light situation, all that stuff. Like it's not necessarily DEI as the idea of like, cause like knowing somebody close to me that deals with that DEI stuff, like they explain to me that, hey, y'all don't get it. This is implemented. It's really to help the you know veterans or different demographics and this and that. And I had to explain to them like, yeah, I understand that standpoint because yeah, I mean that might have been a tool to help like a veteran or whatever, or somebody with disabilities. That's cool. But what's being used in the pop culture arena is going to overshadow the good that whole program had itself. Now it's numbers of with people that's incompetent, even though by definition it might have been used to get certain certain disabilities, certain groups of like veterans and stuff, certain like even help with some people that had a conviction or two or something, probably help them get on a job or career or whatnot. That sounds all good and all, but what pop culture sees when it comes to DEI is what they taking away. Like if I want to go watch a Punisher movie, let me take this back. If I want to go watch a Blade movie, like Wesley Snipes' Blade, Wesley Snipes' Blade was an influential movie that got a lot of people back into comic books. That made it happen with getting comic book movies to a point where it wasn't just Batman. It wasn't just Batman. It ended up being Spider-Man. Ended up being X-Men. Ended up being eventually Iron Man in the MCU. You know what I'm saying? And Ghost Rider and Daredevil, all that stuff, right? All that stuff. So what I'm saying, like, they want to go watch a Blade. Now, when you do a Blade now, you're going to have a DEI consultant going to say, well, it's too masculine. It's more masculine, toxic masculine. And you start talking like that nonsense, it's going to put a bad light onto your whole situation with DEI. Now, with somebody gaming, they hear DEI and they hear, well, you're going to have to do a sensitivity training. They're going to have a bad taste. Then once they get that position where they could get rid of it, they're going to get rid of it. So what I mean by this lady doing this was a dumbass move. Because now they gave up, you could cost cut now. You see what I'm saying? Now we don't need this position. Now we could, instead of having DEI, even a DEI situation, like a whole unit, we just put that in internal affairs or human resources. We'll implement it, but it's gonna be more on a broad spectrum. We're not gonna have an executive directly for that to pay. I mean, like she probably getting paid over six figures in that executive. If she a DEI executive, she probably getting paid New York at JP Morgan Chase, he definitely getting probably close to 6 figures, if not more than probably like over 100 grand. And to live in New York, because like she probably getting bonuses and all kinds of stuff, right? So this is dumb. She probably could have bought a trash can and had it painted New York Knicks and been in a better situation. So look, stupid people, man. That's all I gotta say. So hey, let's laugh a little bit. That kind of pissed me off. So I might have to edit this, but I believe this was at the opening of President Obama's library, and you know Tim's was singing. Look who was bobbing the Tim's. I have a thing of Tim's and Sizzle. I got a thing for my wife. No, like I'm just gonna vibe when she. So when you see this, I understand. Where's the Bush surviving? You see him? All right, that's enough. I don't want to get flagged, but yeah, salute to Sizzle. Salute to Tim's. I'm thinking Sizzle. My bad, I'm tripping. Tim's, man, like shit. Hey, that's me. That's me and the wifey. We vibing to that. Damn, man. What's up? Hey, she already know. Like, hey, Tim's, man. Look, hey, Tim's, man. Hey, she done came through for you. How you doing, Genesis? How you doing, Jenny? But yeah, Jenny, did you see that exec? Let me go back to this. That executive, she's a DEI executive at Morgan Chase. She was still a Knicks thing, and she ended up getting fired like a dumbass. Stupid ass. All right, we got 3 more picks to Mavericks pick again. So, yeah, Tim's like I said, like, look, man, my old lady, she like my little Tim's in a way. We good, man. She don't gotta worry about nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's my baby now. She doing homework anyway. She chilling. All right. We at the segment. What are you talking about? Oh, hold up. You can't understand what was going on? All right, we go back. So this is this lady right here. She's the DEI executive at she stole it. She wanted to keep it for herself as a souvenir. And she got, of course somebody fucking around and videotaped it. Well, videotaped it. Cammed it up. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just dumb. And then New York Post gonna get it. The woman who emptied New York Knicks trash can on the street and stole it was a DI executive worked at JP Morgan Chase. Then, bam, breaking JP Morgan fired DI executive who dumped and stole the Knicks trash can. Stupid ass. Yeah, just dumb. Just dumb. Hold up. Shut your stupid ass. Just dumb. Yeah, this is dumb. All right. Let me drop the link again if y'all want to come up for y'all want to come up on this, man, because I'm at the segment of we want to talk about Karmelo Anthony again. I dread this. And shout out to TTB. He posts this on X, getting it from him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Let me see. It's a lot. Let's see. You look at. All right, we're gonna start around right here. So y'all, if y'all know, back in on Friday, they released this. They released this video and everything, and yeah, I let's go through this. Very dumb, Jenny. So this the tent, everything. So apparently he's in the tent right now. He was in the tent all along. So they just down there chilling. So somebody moving around in there. I'm gonna skip it a little bit. It don't even look like a hostage situation. You know what I mean? Let's see. More kids going up there. I'm skipping a little bit because it's just they just sitting there. We almost there. I guess they talk something moving on. I guess somebody talking to them. But again, right now it don't look like nothing hostile going on. Oh, there you go. There you go. So we go back. Hold up. So they were talking right there. You can see. What's up, Judge Jay? He lean forward. So yeah, he definitely wasn't jumped. So that's Karmelo right there. He definitely wasn't jumped. So that was a whole calm scene. So that whole jumping narrative was bullshit. That was definitely bullshit. Because like I said, they just sitting down. So that tells me it was just words being said. He probably could have got up and said, all right, you know what, bet I'm going to make a move, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He could have got out that situation. So that I see why the prosecution gave him the jury gave him 35 years. I still don't agree with it. I think only reason I don't agree with it is because I think he could be redeemed. He's young or whatever, unless there's more things I don't know about. As in, if you had like nobody said he had a juvenile record, and then that stuff usually come out. So like that's crazy. Nobody was jumping on him. He could have got that situation. It was calm for 8 minutes straight. It was pretty much calm to that situation. This is the next fuck up he did. He ran away from the situation. Yeah, man. So this is basically the after thing. I'm not gonna go in deep in that because we already know what happened there. So I mean, all right. So Stephen A. Smith has something to say, and I'm gonna tell you this too, man. Like, the craziest thing, like at my job, I had a customer, like customer I know. We talk a lot and stuff. Like he know my people. I definitely know the past. And let me. All right, you take care of Jenny. You take care. So this is why it was. I don't think even the whole no black jury members is going to be I mean, he might get appealed on that, but he was going to be found guilty no matter what. Cause like I have a customer like this dude was like, I'm telling you, he went to the marches. He always was rocking Black Lives Matter stuff and the whole nine. And I saw him not even at work. I saw him just out and about. He know my people, like I said, so we have a little rapport. So I was chit chatting. I said, man, we just be chit chatting. He like, hey, what do you think about the Karmelo thing? I was like, hey, he probably shouldn't got 35 years, but that was a hard case to prove. He probably should have got a deal. He was like, man, I was saying the same thing. So I'm telling you, somebody that was an avid BLM, go to the marches. I believe he was at the march when the whole situation in July 9th happened with one of my workout partners was one of that whole shooting situation. So yeah, like he was in it. Like he was always like he was really big on X talking and Black Twitter. He was all into that stuff, right? Which I was part of it, of course. I watched to see what's going on, see what everybody mindset is. But with that being said, like he even changed on this. He was like, man, like people don't understand because he's mentoring to kids. He's doing the whole King Randall thing, man, down here. So he's trying to teach them how to deal, trying to be the solution, not the problem. Trying to teaching these young boys like how to deal with the police, how to deal with like just man shit in general, how to change a tire, change brakes and stuff. He teaching them life skills. I'm not gonna give a name because I don't want. He might not want to be on it. I gotta make sure I get consent on that or whatever. But like yeah, we had a long conversation, man. Like just talking because like we used to argue about some of the things, like especially with like the Minnesota, I just think George Floyd situation. I was like, was telling him like, hey man, like there's some things that he probably could have played that differently or whatever, blah blah blah, this and that or whatever. I mean, we had a little debate over that, but now like he's totally different. Now he was like, man, yeah, I'm trying to say, hey, I mean, especially us as young black boys, like we have to. always be on point when it comes to dealing with folks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like rules that apply to our women, like I was saying the other day with Judge Jay, rules apply to y'all doesn't apply to us, because like y'all could just feel unsafe and somebody come to the rescue and try to help you out or whatever. Somebody, even outside of race, they gonna see a woman in stress. Somebody gonna come to the day, try to help you out on that one. A lot of times, sometimes it could be nefarious people, of course. I'm not saying 100%, but you're gonna have somebody coming up to you. Us, if we feel unsafe, we have to have a protocol on what we do to get out that situation or go through the situation. You know what I mean? So yeah, like Karmelo made a lot of mistakes in that. Like, if you got a situation where you think things gonna escalate, you gotta walk away, man. You gotta learn how to walk away to a point, because you want to give all the reasons for you to have a good self-defense argument. Like, if you fighting somebody, you don't want to hit them while they down, because that could go from simple assault to assault and battery, like felony charges, real easy. Especially if you end up unaliving them with a fight, which that can happen in street fights. Yeah, and I mean that's criminal negligence. That could be second degree, up to second degree, maybe up to first degree in some cases. If you take something, that could be capital murder. I mean, that's just you have to be very careful when you're dealing with threats, when you're dealing with fighting, and dealing with you gotta. It's all about framing. It's all about understanding your rights. It's all about like, oh, got dark. All right, let's go. It's all about understanding all that stuff, right? So let's read. With that being said, let's look and see what Steve May said. And I don't know if I'm agree. This is the first time me listening to this. This is from the show, this podcast. Salute to him on that. KB kind of got you doing that. Let's keep it up, but that's another story. But salute you on that, man. Anyway, nevertheless.
For those who want to support Carmelo Anthony, who want to act like a crime wasn't committed, who want to act like he was completely provoked, instead of bringing up the fact that he had no business having a knife at a track meet, instead of acknowledging the fact that he was in no real perceived danger in terms of his life being threatened, in terms of acknowledging the fact that under no circumstances, based on the evidence of what has happened, did it warrant him stabbing somebody in the chest.
That's the thing. And this is why it's important. Like, I know people talking about constitutional care and everything. This is why it's important for us, especially if you're a minority, quote unquote, right, to go to do the CHL class. Number one, this is a benefit from it, right? I speak for Texas standpoint. I can't speak for anywhere else. When you do a CHL class or whatever they call them now, they got a different acronym now. That means, like, when you do, let's say you're going to purchase a firearm. Now, like I think it's NICS. That's the ATF form, whatever. It's the whole process when you go through, put your information on, everything like that. When you do that, have that card, it like basically they don't have to run it through the system. You kind of grandfathered in because they know you in the state system. So basically, it cuts down your gun purchasing time like in half, maybe 3/4. So, because most of the time when you purchase a gun, they gotta run your name through the whole database, make sure you're not failing this and that. But if you got the concealed handgun license, that's one of those things where you kind of already been vetted. You know what I'm saying? So I suggest people, if you especially in Texas, anywhere in the South that got concealed, just go through the class and learn the law. And plus, proficient in that whatever caliber you're using. Because I know here in Texas, you can't qualify with anything under a 9mm. So 380s, 22s and stuff, you're not gonna get qualified. But that's but the good thing about it, like if you could run, if you could fire a 9mm, you probably could fire any handgun out there to a point. But it's good to go there. You know the laws, how they worded, the use of force, the protocol you got to do. If let's say unfortunately you have to use your firearm, like it's a way you call the police, it's a way you deal with the police when in traffic stops. It's all that. So like you a lot of times it's a lot of YouTubers that actually went through, like especially not gun, but like car enthusiasts that go through that, right? So yeah, I highly suggest y'all going through that class and stuff. And plus, you can help other people understand the law.
If we're going to sit up there and we're going to ignore those things, here's what we can't ignore. Here's what's unavoidable. People are going to bring this up too. Where's all this noise over what happened in Chicago on Juneteenth?
Here's the thing, man. Even going at like these robber in the hood, like I'm gonna say like just in general, rival schools went to other schools and start mess. That's been, you're always gonna have that. Kids gonna be kids. They're gonna do stupid stuff, the whole nine, right? You always gonna have that. So with that being said, right, this could easily happen in the hood, and nobody that's protesting this situation, protesting the all-white jury and everything. Well, that's even capped. There wasn't an all-white jury. You had Hispanics and Asians in there, but some people that they think they too black. Overseas, they be begging to come back. That's shout out to Ice Cube. That's a cold ass line. Y'all know that's from the Ice Cube, nigga. You love to hate. They claiming they too black. Send them overseas. They be begging to come black. Oh, man, that's a classic line. So yeah, they gonna call anybody that's not them black, mean white. So yeah, it's crazy on that. Let's read.
What's the relevancy for that? The relevancy for that is that we're arguing and going off and expressing hell and fury over the conviction of a guy who acknowledged he admitted he committed the crime. Told the police it's not alleged. I did it.
It's few times we have a convergence of opposite personalities agreeing. KB and Stephen A agrees on this subject. So, and then here's the thing. If you notice, there wasn't too many protests over this because a lot of black men, a lot of black women, have this sentiment. I'm about to go through something and show you. And I want to say this. Corey might be right about this person I'm gonna bring up after I go through this. He might be right. Corey Holcomb might be right about this dude. I'm gonna just say it like that. Let's read.
Because he put his hands on me, so I did it, according to the reports. We've got people all over the place going off, talking about police officers, talking about the court system, talking about the inequity within our legal system, et cetera, et cetera. But 39 people get shot on Juneteenth. 6 are killed.
Don't got nothing to say about that.
And we're not hearing anything. Why?
Because you can't make money off that. You can't work on people's either insecurities of being black. Because a lot of times when you hear people, man, this system ain't made for us. Oh, it's they basically saying, look, we can't cut it. I'm insecure about being in this world. I can't cut. I need help. I need somebody to help me. That's why I hear. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's a pick up myself with a bootstrap type of mentality. I don't even agree with that. Like, I don't know, man. I'll just say this, like, when you have people like that's why you're not gonna talk about the hood violence. Cause then they're like, well, it happened in white communities too. I say we ain't talking about what we trying to fix our situation. White folks, hey, let white folks do white folks stuff. I thought y'all wanted segregation. Let white folks do white folks. How about we do our stuff? I don't know. That makes too much sense, right?
Is that Austin fell onto Karmelo's knife trying to.
I'm sorry. I wasn't ready for that. I mean, I have to give this man his proper introduction. Let's see. You feel me? Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. I got this. All right.
Austin fell onto Karmelo's knife trying to attack him because the knife is 3.5 inches. The cut was only 2. Loon, if I'm stabbing you, why am I going halfway with a knife blade that's only 3.5 inches? You fell on.
Hey, I have to respect. I gotta respect the show standpoint. Anytime Dr. Umar is Mr. Telephone Man gotta come on. You know what I mean? I gotta respect it, man. This is a staple of my show today. Since we start doing Dr. Umar segments.
Onto my knife. Regardless, Loon.
Salute to homie Tatum, man. I wonder if What's still training. I want to probably do a link up workout session, man. I ain't seen his brother in a minute. Bobby Tatum. Shout out to them.
Do you really think those 2 black boys who fell on that white boy's knife?
Time out, bro. I can't do it. I got to get my hair cut. My barber here fell on a knife. There ain't no human being on planet Earth out of 21 witnesses said that he fell on a knife. Karmelo Anthony's defense isn't arguing that he fell on a knife. Nobody's saying that these black people cannot take accountability for nothing. Now the boy done fell on somebody's knife.
That's the problem right there. You see, ultimately, we got to pick our battles. We got to be better than that. What we going to do, got to come together to resolve some of these issues. What's the best way to do it? First order of business is to be real. To be real about the evidence that we're looking at and go from there and pick our fights and pick our battles.
See, and that's one of the issues. So this is why you need masculinity in the black community to step up, because a masculine mind is control of their emotions, and we strategic. I'm on stream, baby. We're strategic. You know what I'm saying? We think 5-10 years ahead. I mean, think about it like this, right? If we going to war, right? I mean, like if you're a proper, like a grown up, you should already probably should already read Art of War. If you a thinking person, you got Sun Tzu Art of War is a must. Every grown man needs to read that. I'll say this. I read that. I've read President Ulysses Grant, his memoirs of the Civil War. He's the maker. He's pretty much the inventor of total war. You know what I'm saying? I read stuff like that, man. Because like, here's the thing: you gotta have a strategic mind. You can't sit up here and just a man that's not strategic in their actions, man. You're gonna fall for everything. You're gonna react to everything. And you're not capable. You know what I'm saying? And everything. So, man, like I said, like that's what's missing in our community, right? We got a lot of people that's super emotional about everything, where you going, where you doing, who you talking to, this and that. But that you got that type of shit. You got people who want to play too goddamn much instead of just, do leading with respect. You got those types, leading respect, being respectful, no matter where you at. You know what I'm saying? You got people just want to control what we do. It's a lot of that. They just want to control where you go, where you do, who you talk to, how you wear your stuff, who you know, all that shit. Like, because in reality, people who are like that, I found out just in general, they typically the most insecure person in the room. Really, is they insecure, so they feel like if they can control you and control people like you or whoever control the room, nobody will point out the insecurities. It's a defensive mechanism. And the reality is none of us are really fully in control because like God laughs at our plans. I know that's not in scripture well, but like how many times your plans get thwarted because life happens? You know what I'm saying? A lot of my plan, like my uncle passed. Like, let me tell you, I'll tell you this because I haven't said really anything about it. Because in my grieving process, I work through my grieving process. I work through pain. I work through adversity. I go straight through it. I try to laugh, try to do things to get over that. You know, I'm gonna go to the gym. Like, I do make a confession, man. Like, that day after I found out after I saw my uncle pass, and it's like literally I was sitting right there watching him pass. That messed up situation. I went to the gym. I said I gotta do something. I gotta do something productive, right? I gotta do something productive. So I went to the gym like real early. I want to say 2:00 in the morning. I was the only one in there. The leg machine. How my gym is, the leg. Most of the leg machines are in the outside portion. So it's made so you get a lot of sweat and everything. It's more open and everything. It's like a shed and everything, right? So man, I'm over here lifting weights. I'm listening to rock about things like some metal because I wanted to hear something that's gonna keep me up. That I'm not gonna be in my feelings like that, man. And I was listening to Kill Switch Engage. Yeah, I listen to rock. I listen to Kill Switch Engage, like they Live from Palladium album. And it's a song called Unbroken. Not Unbroken. Hold on. Let me find it. I'll find a song. I know it might be, oh, you listen to rock, you listen to white folks music. Yeah, all that shit I hear all the time. I am broken too. So basically, the whole thing was basically saying like, cause like the lead singer was dealing with addiction, and he was saying, well, I mean, run away from your pain and everything. It was a deep song. It's a deep song, but like it's a good song. And I'm over here. I got fucking 4 or 5 on the squat rack. I'm about to do some squats. I have 4 plates in like a dime, something like that. It might be like 420 or something like that. So I'm over here. That song came on. I'm listening. I'm just in my zone. The next thing you know, I just start crying. I just start crying on that one. I like it. And that's the way I grieve. Like, I don't want to be over here in my feelings. Because what happens when you do that, I found out, when you just don't do nothing, you don't be around, you don't laugh, you don't do this, one person do something towards you or something like that, you just go off and you'll get yourself in a worse situation there. That's how I am. So I have to constantly be moving. I have to constantly be doing, I have to be, if I'm in somebody's chat, I'm there. So I want to get my mind off of what I just fucking saw. That's how I grieve. Like even when I'm sick, I'm gonna do something that's gonna work. I use my mind so I forget that I'm sick. My aunt famously said, this is the craziest thing. Back, I want to say I was 11 or 12. I had got pneumonia really bad, like a real bad case of pneumonia. Like they didn't think I was gonna make it. That was one of my near-death experiences. Like fluids in my damn near both lungs had fluid in it. It was a bad situation. I barely could breathe. I had to be in the hospital for like a week. It was horrible. So they they brought my Super Nintendo. This back when Super Nintendo was the thing. They brought my Super Nintendo in there, and my mama just rented a whole bunch of games. And I was in there just playing the game, this and that. And my aunt, she came in and she's like, "You ain't that sick. You playing a video game. Why you doing that?" Just saying that. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm 11, 12, and I'm saying this. I say, "Auntie, this is how I get old. I have to get my mind off the situation at hand so I can get through it." Pretty much. I'm paraphrasing. I didn't say it as Edward Lee. As a 13-year-old boy, I said, "Hey, this is the way I get through it." That's how I get through things. When I'm in somebody's chat, and some bad stuff, and I deal with some stuff, I have to get my mind off it. Because if I don't get my mind off it, and I start in my feelings, and I start thinking about things, what people said and how they said, and this and that, I don't do something I regret. So that's the way I work through it. People do different things, man. We're not all a monolith. We're not all the same. So yeah, man, I was all that stuff came out, all that crying and emotion came out and that was like the best lift I've done on a squat since I got back in the gym, like the last 15 years. And it worked. And that's how I could be good with my family. I'm not snapping at everybody, and I could still work and keep an even keel. Cause like the thing is, like, my uncle did a lot for me to help me understand the Bible, help me understand life in general. When he helped me when my pops on there. Then when my pops got there, everything came together in the right time and everything worked. You see what I'm saying? And like that's why when I see this Karmelo thing, man, the man in his life to like tell him the truth, tell him exactly what the deal is in the situation. They failed him, and because he should never been in this situation where he would have put his life online in a jury that might, you could say, not his peers. You can make that case. He shouldn't even been in a jury trial in first place. They failed him on that. I believe that wholeheartedly because I know my uncle, I know my daddy, I know other people in my life. If I would have messed up, they would say, "Hey, you gotta take that L." You know what I'm saying? My cousin would have said, "You would have to take that L." You know what I'm saying? And that, they helped me. We held each other to account. Like I hold our family account. Like, hey, I'm like, "Hey, man, you tripping? You moving funny? You got to get your shit together." I talk to my nephews. I uphold that tradition, man. My uncle and them gave me, like all my uncles. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I do some of the things I do because I worked through it and I already gave. Look, he gave me the best things he could give me. That's knowledge of how to be a black man in America. My uncle lived through the goddamn civil rights era. He was in Vietnam and everything. You know what I'm saying? And he loved this country. He didn't cry. I see a lot of motherfuckers who they all they do is fucking crying, saying, "Woe is me" and shit, man. He lived through he lived through Jim Crow. You know what I'm saying? Never cried. He went to work. Dude, he used to work at General Motors, right? And he would work 7 days a week to provide for his family. You know what I'm saying? I worked. Like, I'm keeping a buck with you. This is this is the reason why I don't really like going back and forth with people online. Because I look at this as a business. I look at this as a legacy builder for my life. I hope people will someday hear what I'm saying, and that could affect them to be a better person and stuff. And then, like I said, when my funeral happens, they could go back to some of my videos here and say, "Hey, this is what type of dude he was." You know what I'm saying? This is what type of dude he was. He had character. He had a value system. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't out here just going around cussing people out for not doing what they want him to do. He was respectable, you know. And the thing I hate the most, and look, I hate being misunderstood. When I feel like I'm being misunderstood, I move away. You're never gonna hear me move away. I'm just gonna move away. Because I know I'm gonna be misunderstood. And my intentions on this app is to inform, educate, sometimes entertain on some of the stuff. I find some funny stuff, entertain, and to be part of media that we actually need. That's it. I'm not on here to go back and forth with people who feel some type of way or where I be at. I'm not here to placate to anybody's feelings. Because the thing is, I'm here to inform, not to placate. You know? This is bottom line to it. And if anybody offended about whatever I do, and you're not telling me how I offended, I don't believe that you're offended. I believe that you just want to control somebody. And I'm a horrible slave because my bloodline comes from an escaped slave that joined the Union Army. I'm gonna go in detail on that. That's what that's the patriarchal a part of my family is. It's from an escaped slave. I'm not a good slave. I'm not good with threats. I'm not good with name calling for no reason when I know I ain't did anything to a motherfucker. I'm not good at that. So I just move around. I don't need to be around people like that. I have once upon a time I had a horrible temper. Now I'm in the best place mentally in my life because I learned how to put things where they need to be at emotionally. I learned how to do that. I learned sometimes it's better not to run from anything. It's better to run through it. It's easier to run through stuff. Get it over with. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not gonna placate to anybody. I'm gonna go where I want to go. There's nothing anybody on this app could tell me to not do it. If I want to go somewhere, I want to fellowship with anybody. I'm gonna fellowship with anybody I want to fellowship with. It's just the way it is. And you can feel whatever you want to feel about it. You know, hey, smoke you one, get you a girl, and chill the fuck out. Hey, life is short. I'm in the middle of the country. There's other people, other things you could be doing instead of worry about what the fuck I'm doing. I leave it at that. That's wrong.
It's important to do that. Again, I don't like the idea of Karmelo Anthony being sentenced to 35 years at all. I don't like the makeup of the jury, not having an African American on it at all. I get it. I understand. Mm-hmm. And I don't know all of the specifics that went into the jury ultimately being made up of what it was made up of. I'm quite sure that there were blacks that were interviewed and before being placed on the jury, before the decision was made as to who would be placed on the jury and who wasn't. But the point of the matter is that I don't like it. I don't like the look. I don't like the optics because we're here having these questions. But what's inescapable and what's undeniable is that Karmelo Anthony said he put his hands on me, so I stabbed him.
That's it.
He said it's not alleged. I did it.
That's it.
Confessed to doing so and told people he did so. Not only that, there were witnesses that saw it happen. Not only that, Austin Metcalf's brother was there. And his brother died right in front of him.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say it right now. I think the people that was advising Karmelo, what they wanted him to be found guilty. They wanted him to get the maximum penalty so they could have something they could run off. They could initially take up to the political, because it's a political year. Anytime, look, if this trial was happening next year, there would probably be a plea bargain because they had him dead rights. But this is a political year. They modus operandi is to gen up racial animosity. So our black ass go up there and vote D, no matter what, no matter who's a candidate, everything. Why this one doesn't work is because, number one, who they pick to run, I'm talking about from Texas standpoint, Tellerico only black folks gonna really vote for him is just people that's gonna vote D no matter what anyway. But there's so many people. A lot of black folks do not like him. A lot of black men don't like him because like he's weird. I've already covered like what his belief system is, and he's a true believer. He is fucking weird, dead ass. He using the Bible to justify. He's trying to I ain't gonna say using the Bible. He's corrupting. He's trying to corrupt the Bible to go with what he believes in and stuff. It's a nasty piece of work. I hate to say it, and I say this. Actually, old girl was a better is an actual better prospect, just because I know you get Trump out the way, she might work a deal and do this and do this. She a believer in some of the bullshit too, but she's easier to get to if let's say we need to get something done. She will more likely just rubber stamp it and be done with it. Or she's not gonna have no fit over it. Compared to Puerto Rico, he's a true believer. So I truly believe like they were gonna use this trial to gin up racial animosity and get people to vote, which is sad, man. That's sick. It's almost like this, man. What they really hoping to? This is gonna sound crazy. They're hoping it's more because I know it's a situation in North Carolina where there's a hold up. There's a police incident shooting of a black man or something, but like it was a weird case. They try and use that too. So it's sad, man. Like they use these tragedies to try to gin up and get donations and stuff, man. It's sick. It's sick. Like your ideas can't win the day, man. It's a testament. Let's read.
So when we sit up here and we think about the battles that need to be fought, we got to be mindful of what's worth fighting for and what's not worth fighting for. I'm talking about the merits of the case, not the human being.
Yep.
Because all of us are God's children. And my heart goes out to Karmelo Anthony and his family. I wish this didn't happen. I wish that he's not going to spend at least the next 17 years in prison, barring an appeal that's won. But he killed someone.
Yep.
Every time we turn around, there's something going on in Chicago. Every time.
Mm-hmm.
And the vast majority of victims happen to be black. When we going to speak about that? Same energy, y'all. Don't lose the intensity. Keep the same intensity. We going to fight and fight and fight over a young kid that admitted he killed somebody. And we hear crickets when 39 people get shot and 6 get killed in Chicago on Juneteenth.
That's insane. Chicago's out of control, man. So I'm going to stipulate Corey might be right about dude. He might be right about dude. This is Lil Rel. If y'all don't know who this is, Lil Rel. Look, I don't keep it above with you. I have never seen a grown-ass man wear a WNBA hat. Now, that's his business. I got nothing against WNBA. You know what I'm saying? No issue with that. It's just crazy for me to see a grown man wear a WNBA hat. I never seen it in my life. So let that be a stipulation. I don't mean nothing by it, just never seen it. Won't be speak.
I'm about to get super real quick. And I will save this. I'm in my, I posted what I posted not like a little bit ago about the Karmelo Anthony appeal and how he has a new legal team and they're going to help him appeal.
Yeah, that was news too. Yeah, he got a new legal team. He might get appeal. I think they might cut that time down a little bit, but yeah, that's the play. What's going on now? Let's read.
And I posted what I posted, and the amount of energy I'm getting from people, and it's a lot of black people calling Carmelo Anthony a murderer, and he got what he deserved. And why are you saying he deserves a fair trial? A murderer, a murderer, a murderer, a murderer.
I'm pretty sure he nobody said why he deserved a fair trial, because that goes that's apparent that he got a fair trial. I mean, nobody's gonna say why he deserved a fair trial. That doesn't even, unless they, like I said, unless he's talking to somebody that's not from this country that's saying this stuff. Most people know, like, inherently, you're gonna get pretty much a fair trial to a point. Like if you got a legal basis to have a trial in or whatever. In his case, and this is my theory, in his case, he probably shouldn't even went to trial. He should have got a deal. Here's the thing, when you already said that you did something and you already state exactly why you did it, he pushed me, so I did this. That tells me right there on top, that tells me straight up, look, you have no case to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because the person taller than you and push you doesn't mean you get to stab them. I mean, because you and like I said, the video showed you was sitting on there kicking it, chilling until dude approached you and stuff. So you was there a whole 8 minutes. I'm sure somebody probably hollered at you like, hey man, you gotta make a move, you gotta do this, What's up, NYC? Oh, see my, yeah. So yeah, he got a fair trial. He just didn't have a case to defend himself. You know what I'm saying? Let's read.
My thing is this. If that's the energy you got about any of this, then you should have that same energy for that young man who was shot in the back by that gas station owner.
In that case, I need to review it a little bit more. But like, I think that dude was in the wrong for when you shot him in the back. He didn't have a weapon. It is what it is. I mean, look, this is apples and oranges. Number one, different states, different jurisdictions. Two, that's number two. You can't sit up here and be everything gotta be everything. Nah, it don't work that way. You gotta work. All right, what that jurisdiction says is legal use of force and blah blah blah. This is that. Like you gotta. It's more nuance to this to what you see. And a lot of people who want an emotional response, they want to pick and choose reactions instead of providing. By the way, last season the word was discerning. This season the word is context. Context is the word. That's the key word of the season. Summer is context. See, this person didn't provide context. Lil Rel didn't provide context. He wanted an emotional response like, hey, you're not saying nothing about this. The what aboutisms, no full context of the situation. Even though that case sounds crazy because the dude was running away and you popped in the back or whatever, pause. I mean, that sounds crazy. That might should, but like I said, I don't know the statutes and everything going on in I believe that's in North Carolina. I mean, what was that? Well, he'll say it. Let's read.
Same energy.
The Knicks are up in the draft, by the way. I'm watching the draft too, by the way, DNYC.
And I don't feel like going back and forth with people in my comments about the shit because I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. And it's bothering me. I'm literally was just sitting in a...
So this is a testament on why we need more masculinity in our community, right? Is because this discussion shouldn't be bothering you. This discussion, you should be trying to get an understanding. Why? This is what I don't understand with our people right now. Why are so many people allergic to getting a fucking understanding about a situation? Why you want to pick and choose and have an emotional reaction? Who is putting that in you that you need to have an emotional reaction to every goddamn thing going on in the world? Why you whatever happened to peeping game, seeing how the stuff play out, seeing the merits of each case on its own, seeing the laws on each states and say, all right, what are they looking at? Let me understand before I say some stupid shit like, oh, what about this case in Alaska compared to this case in fucking Miami? That doesn't make sense. Why are you looking at two? I'm sorry, I'm about to crash out. But my point is, this is the type of mentality I can't stand. Because people don't know, you don't know, you can't sit up and tell us why we're not getting emotional about something you're emotional about. We need to understand what's actually going on. Did that person get off easy? What's going on? What's going on with that whole scene? We need to know everything. We need to know context. We don't need to just be getting offended. And I seem like a lot of people just want us to, oh, I can't talk to you because you're not paying attention to this thing going on. No, dude, nobody gonna know every goddamn thing. Give me context. Say, hey, this is happening. This the tip. Hey, look into this. I know you're mad about this, but hey, how about you look into this? How about you look in this case? If we do, we do. We don't, we don't. I don't know, man.
In a Bible class, and I'm trying to focus, but I'm so annoyed by that. And I already explained that I'm not like going back and forth with nobody in these comments.
You don't want to go back and forth because perhaps you might end up thinking, oh shit, maybe I'm wrong. Oh yeah, that's another thing. We don't want to go back and forth on a debate. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to go back and forth on drama. Going back and forth on drama, nobody really gets anything out of that. Like, it's eventually somebody gonna be super disrespectful. Somebody, you might press a button that you didn't think was a disrespectful button, but hey, that person got trauma. That person got some things that he or she is holding on to, right? So yeah, going back and forth, that might not be a good thing in that situation when it's drama. But if it's something like an intellectual conversation, you might want to go back and forth and see if your ideas stand the test of time. And iron sharpen iron. We also be brothers and sisters, especially as Black folks, and as if you believe in the Lord Jesus, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Man, I'm talking fast. I'm on the roll. My bad, y'all. But like, you supposed to be able to talk to anybody. Like, here's the thing. I bet some of y'all, like, if a Satanist came to y'all and was like trying to talk about what they're going through or whatever, right? You'll be like, oh, he's a Satanist. Oh, she's a Satanist. Let me get away from him. Let me get away from him. I don't want to deal with that. But I met Satanists, right? And like one time we were just chit-chatting and everything. And I'm born again. I know I cuss a little bit. I know I probably look at a woman too here and there, not necessarily lust and everything, but I'm a man. I'm not perfect. But I've been baptized, man. Shit, I done gave my life to the Lord. I'm still working on things. I cuss a little bit. I call it like this. Some days I'm Simon, some days I'm Peter. It's a little joke I got. I tell my co-workers, they be laughing at that. But I keep it real I keep it honest. But with that being said, right, we're just saying it like we were just talking. Like I picked their brain. I'm like, hey, how could you become? And I knew they went to my school, so I kind of had a rapport, and I just want to ask them a super question like that. But I just was like, hey, how did you get to a point where you went to that extreme? Because you have to admit that's extreme, right? Because they grew up Catholic, then all of a sudden you were Satanist. That's a total opposite. So they was talking about, hey, they got abused when they were younger and stuff, and they used to pray and this and that. This is a true story, by the way. And for this person to be gone, everything, and nothing ever happened to them, whatever. So they lost their faith or whatever, which is sad situation, everything. So I asked, I was like, it's a woman, it's a girl. I was like, hey, so let me ask you this, right? Where is that person today? And she was like, he passed away about 5-6 years ago. So how did it pass away? He got sick and everything or whatever. So I said what I said, well, technically your prayers will answer, you know. And she looked at me crazy, like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, yeah, your prayers will answer. Like, you prayed for this person moving. And the reason, usually you don't want to pray, and this is when she was a Catholic, you don't want to pray for anybody downfall or anything, but usually you want to pray for them to be move around or you know, get away. Hey, get me at the situation. So that's why how I looked at it or whatever, right? So out of that, like she looked at me and she thought I was crazy, and then like she kind of got mad and didn't want to talk to me. Didn't talk to me for like a couple months or whatever, like almost to the end of school year or whatever. Then like she came back, she was like, man, I thought about what you were saying and everything. You had a point, and maybe I've been looking at this kind of wrong. So I mean, and last time I saw in like the little high school thing on Facebook, like she back in church. She got like 5 or 6 kids. You know what I'm saying? She got a healthy marriage, everything. Kids, we in our 40s now, so kids damn near grown. She doing her thing, man. But just like sometimes putting yourself in that position, you don't know who you might be helping get out of a situation, man. You don't know, you might be breathing life into something that was dormant to get them out of the hateful state or they hateful state. Because we always have that one little time period in our life that we've been hurt so much, been traumatized so much that you are just inherently angry, you're inherently mad. And it's a time period that if you're a Christian, especially if you talk to that person and you make them think instead of preaching them, just make them think a little bit. You know, you never know. That might generate something within them to get them to a point where they will be in a position they never thought they would be in. They'll be loved. They will experience love that they thought didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? And it helps you with your faith. I don't know. Maybe and look, I'm not going to be over here quoting scriptures and everything like that. I'm not going to do all that, but I'm just saying like there's a time and place for things. Like sometimes you need to mix and mingle. Sometimes you need to see a point of view to see where they at, and maybe you might grow from that situation. Maybe somebody call you on your bullshit. You know, it happens a lot. Like sometimes people call me on. I think you know what, that's the point. But then eventually you gotta be yourself and everything. Well, let's get back on this. I'm digressing ways.
This is sick to me. I can't understand how y'all keep calling this young man a murderer, right? And he was sitting there minding his business.
All right. You can tell somebody that haven't really been in any altercations in their life, haven't really been in a situation where you might have to fight your way out of a situation, something like that. Because I don't think, just by that statement alone, he will mind his own business. A lot of people mind their own business and end up having to defend themselves. All right. The thing is, to justify use of force of using a knife that wasn't supposed to be in that place in the first place. 4603.03. This is penal code. Go look it up. Go read it. I'm not gonna hold your hand on this. I could quote that. But like what I'm saying is, right, him minding his business, he could have easily left that situation too. But Lil Rel is looking at this as what, no offense to anybody that take offense to this as what a woman that know they're gonna be defended would think. Because the thing is, he's not looking at what happens when the threat comes to you. How do you react to that threat? You gonna make excuses of you going to the extreme instead of understanding what the proper use of force is. That's why he said, well, he was just minding his business. Okay. You could peep game. He over here, this dude is about to come to you and say some stuff to you, right? All right, you talk, you leave respect in unless it get disrespectful. It gets disrespectful. That's when it's time to listen. Hey, all right, man, you got it. This your house, whatever, blah, blah, blah. See, and little rebel like, well, why you have to leave? And well, that's what my wife would be saying. I love my wife, but that's what you have a right to be over here. Yeah, we have a right to be over here, but am I right for staying in this situation? That's what's missing in these cats who think like this. They don't think I have a right, but am I right? Let's read.
And they marched over there to bully him, right?
No grown man, no boy. Look, bullying. I'll be amiss to say I've never been bullied, right? But I tell you this: a lot of bullies I had, we got in that square. We got in somebody's backyard. We got somewhere and we handled that, like, and then we got understanding. They end up becoming some close friends afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you'd be surprised what feed and fist would do to make a blossoming best friendship. You'd be surprised. Like, if a man never had a boxing match or anything of that nature, you know what I'm saying, going on, or you really they friend. like it's gonna be a time where, okay, you're gonna be playing football, basketball at somewhere, and then somebody foul you hard, or they feel some type of way about you say something about you or whatever, or they play too much, and you gotta get an understanding. It happens. See, here's the thing between men and women. Dudes fight each other. They'll fight each other to fucking bloody lip and everything, and then go have a beer afterwards. They'll have a fight with somebody. Depending on it now, it depends on certain standpoints. Like if this person, let's say hypothetically, you fight this person because they did something to your sister or your mom or something like that. That's a whole different avenue. But I'm saying if they have an acquaintance and they have a good fisticuff or whatever, good little squabble real quick. Like a lot of times, man, hey, those be the closest friends like you have, as long as they don't go too far. Like some of them, like all my groomsmen in my wedding, we had squabble. Me and my brother, we used to squabble like crazy. Like he'll sneak me. Trying to see, he'll sneak me on some shit that, I say, all right, we gotta get out there. And we get out there, it ain't too much anymore because I don't got too big for him. But like, yeah, we had that. Hey, hell, me and my sister had little issues every now and then. You know what I'm saying? That's just sibling rivalry. But what I'm saying is like, this man ain't went to no. If he did, it was an argument. It was something slight. That's the way the vibe I'm getting now. He could probably been 100 fights. I don't know this dude, but what I'm saying, that line, man, I'll go back a little bit. Him saying this made me think that he ain't really been out there squabbling like that growing up. Let's read.
He was sitting there minding his business.
He was minding his business.
And they marched over there to bully him.
They bullied him.
Right?
Oh, no.
They bullied him. Because the dude, if you know the background of those twins, they were bullies.
Bullies.
Full blood.
But hey, you supposed to have the squabble for the bullies. You supposed to have the squabble for the bullies, man. You know what I'm saying? And then they jump you. This what my mama said, man. And my daddy concurred, and vice versa. The whole nine. This would been instilled in me. If you're getting jumped by anybody, the ringleader is going to the hospital with you. That's the rule. By any means necessary, that you gonna grab the ringleader. If you go in the hospital or worse, he's coming with you because he's the reason why you're in this situation. Point blank, period. That's the rules. If you ever get in a situation where you're getting jumped, you know what I'm saying? I got jumped one time, and this is the funniest story, right? Okay. When I was growing up, I stayed with my cousin's house to go to school in Fort Worth, right? I was lucky. I ain't gonna lie, I was a knucklehead growing up. I ain't gonna look, I keep it a buck. I was a little knucklehead. That's why I'm saying the 13, 14. It's the reason I said that, right? So they had pissed me the fuck off. My cousin pissed me the fuck off because like they my auntie she worked overnights at General Motors, and like all my cousins at the time, they were grown. They were pretty much grown. I'm the youngest on my mama's side. Like so long story on that. Anyway, she came in. I guess they didn't do something they were supposed to do, and I didn't know they were supposed to do it. It was no communication, so they blamed me for it or whatever. So yeah, and of course I got to run in on that and everything. It was a long story. I went to school. I was already mad, right? So I never forget this. I think I still got the CD in my CD case. I was listening to the 3-6 Mafia, When the Smoke Clears CD. It just came out. I went and got it. Yeah, I went to back in the day, you used to buy CDs at $1, so I went and got it. They had that CD. I went and got buy it, believe it or not. So I'm in here listening. I'm vibing. I'm listening to the whole thing. They want me to sip on scissor, the new Tear the Club Up. The whole I'm vibing. I'm like, I'm getting over this little situation because like, my kinfolk was on some fuck shit. And I was a little upset. So I'm in there listening to this. And this dude, my classmate, we cool now, but my classmate, he kept on hitting the CD player. If y'all know anything about CD players, you hit that motherfucking skip, it's just gonna piss you off. He was trying to holler at me like, hey, he was trying to ask me did I get the 3-6 Mafia. I'm like, look, I'll tell you later on, I don't feel it. Whatever. I don't feel like talking right now. He kept on fucking with me. Then all his siblings, there was like 4 of them, and with a girl, and his sister kind of liked me too. That's a whole nother subject there. So I'm upset. I'm like, hey, I'm just, So eventually he keep fucking with me. We end up having a fight, and his people jumped in trying to break it up, and then I'm thinking they jumping me. So I'm fighting with everybody. We all cool, but we all fighting too. His sister grabbing me. I'm over there. I'm trying. It was just a bad situation, and I'm getting in trouble for that and everything. So, but like he ended up getting he got fucked up. That's about something we laughed about. Like, man, I was in a bad place. But my point is right. He was the closest one. He was fucking with me in that situation. We wasn't as cool as we are now. We was just like acquaintances and stuff at that time. But yeah, when you getting jumped, you got the first one close to you. You gotta they gonna get it. They gonna get it, man. That's just the way it is. And I was on demon time during them years, boy. I shouldn't be listening to 3-6 Mafia and stuff and Screw and all that stuff. But hey, I was young. But like this dude, Lil Red, man, he ain't been in no situation. We got a WNBA hat on, man. You tripping, man. No, I never. Nah, man, you tripping. It's not even cool. I mean, I understand the logo, but it ain't even a cool logo like that, man. But let's read.
Old school Biff from Back to the Future bullies.
And what happened to Biff at Back in the Future?
Full bullies.
So fucking what?
And then they jumped him. After he warned them. Look, I don't care what nobody say. I'm from the west side of Chicago. If I'm about to get into with somebody and they like, fam, run up on me if you want to, or I'm going to stab you. If that's the case, most likely, just from street smarts, I'm not doing that.
Listen, man. Again. And this is why the murder rate in Chicago is so high, and they doing all this stuff. They run switch and stuff because they ain't getting to the hands like they used to. And you testament to that. Y'all wasn't getting to the hands, so therefore it's a little soft, man. You sound a little soft here, man. I'll keep it a buck with you. That's great.
I got shit to lose. If somebody telling me, man, like say I'm into it with somebody and they're like, man, Rail, run up on me if you want to. Click, clack.
That's a whole different avenue because here's the thing. If somebody, hold up. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the strap on him. But still, man, like, Karmelo had a responsibility. He didn't have to, quote unquote, retreat, but if you want to get a self-defense claim, you almost have to leave. You definitely have to leave. Because the thing is, what the jury saw, you weren't supposed to be over there. They asked you to leave 15 times. You were belligerent. You saying, hey, nah, you're going to have to make me leave, blah, blah, blah. Doing that. That means, and you had something on you, and you did that when they touched you and stuff. That wasn't equal use of force. You admitted on the body cam and everything like that. So what Lil Rel saying, and this is the problem with our community, he's not understanding why dude got that. It's not white and black thing. Once you announce that you did it and it's not alleged, talking that shit to the cops on the body cam, that means you better get a plea deal because they gonna run you through the ringer. You know what I mean? Like they just did. He's lucky they didn't put more time looking at this tape. I don't keep a buck with you because like they were all kicking it. So technically he could have made a move and got away from there. I saw escape routes all over the place. Like nobody was really out on his back. He wasn't corner in. He could have easily just got up out of there.
Pop you if you run up on me. Then I make a decision at that point. And
the responsibility is on Karmelo to get out that situation too, man. It's a two-way street. You trying to say, well, it's only one person. So this is why this argument is disingenuous. Is because Karmelo went to them. That means if somebody came in your yard right now, and you tell him to leave 15 times, he say, he did this number. I ain't leaving, homie. You gonna call the police? You gonna call the police? But what if he stop you from calling the police? What if you say he think that's a threat? You got a pistol. He want to be in your yard. I mean, you're being kind of disingenuous, man. Like it's a reason why he was that dude was confronting me. Look, he's from the ops. He ain't supposed to be in this content. You got to make a move. Now, only problem Austin did was touch him. He shouldn't touch him. He should have went on. Hey, tell his brother, hey, go get such and such. Go get the coach. We need to get this dude up out of here. Go get the resource officer, whatever, blah, 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 whatever. That's what he should have did. He shouldn't touch him. But the thing is, him pushing dude doesn't excuse Karmelo for stabbing him. That's not equal use of force. And then it's just not there. It's rigged.
Then Texas got all these crazy laws when it comes to.
No, they don't. We have straight up laws. Okay, our laws are straight up. Like for example, with the murder statute, we got murder, we got capital murder, we got manslaughter. Manslaughter is based on unsafe, then vehicular. It's voluntary and voluntary, involuntary, meaning voluntary, that's the DUI and everything. Involuntary, that means you just had a wreck and it was unsafe in your car and somebody ended up passing away. He wasn't intoxicated. And unsafe work condition, type manslaughter, they got that. Which doesn't make sense. The judge try to put manslaughter in the statute. It didn't make sense because you don't have anything dealing with weapons on that one. I digress. You have murder and capital murder, and then when they do a sentencing, that's why they have 5 to 99. So anything past 30 years will because it's like the first class version of that sentencing. That's how that works. I talked to a judge, got that verified. It's on the Texas website when it comes to murders and capital murder statutes and stuff like that. All this is available. So ain't no crazy laws. You've been right there. You just showing your ignorance. Like Amber Geiger got charged with murder, but it was under like criminal negligence. That's why she got 15 years. She's gonna be out in 8. She's probably gonna be out in a couple years. That's why she got that. Is because she went there. She was negligent on her firearm and where she was at and everything. So they're saying she's responsible for a dude dying, but it was without malice. So this dude, Karmelo, if he would have went for a deal, he probably would have got something in that nature. Because like again, he had a knife on, but his attention, he showed remorse, and like that could have worked on a path that he wasn't intended to unalive dude. That could have worked on there. But see, cats like this, no, he was defending himself. Don't understand the fucking law. Yeah, he was defending himself. He should be able to do that. He should be able to just sit down where he want to be at. Hey, Austin's not the police. He shouldn't be doing. I get all that part, but the fact of the matter is, Karmelo, if he was where he needed to be at, you know what I'm saying, he wouldn't have been in the situation. If you wouldn't understand, all right, maybe I need to peep game and get away from the situation, he wouldn't be in this situation. He'll be enjoying, he wouldn't even be in this trial. He'll be enjoying, the World Cup and shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's read.
Stand your ground and self-defense. That's exactly what that was.
Stand your ground does not exist in a school activity setting. It doesn't exist. When you on a school, because how can stand your ground and zero tolerance coexist? Zero tolerance, like that means like I think it was 30-8 or something like that. Like you weren't supposed to even have weapons on the campus or any school activities in the first place. So whenever you have situations where somebody had to take somebody's life when it comes to in a schoolhouse or whatever, that's a legal gray area. And what I mean by that, right? Let's say a Good Samaritan stopped a school shooting or something of that nature. There's no DEA in the state of Texas that's going to try that person because of the gravity of the situation. You know what I'm saying? That's a political nightmare. If you imagine you saving a campus from a gunman or whatever, right? And then you get tried for having a gun in the campus, and yeah, they're gonna drop them charges. No grand jury is gonna indict him. They're gonna look at the fact that you saved 100 kids with your actions. You're not gonna get that. So that's one thing. But if you're just having a fight and somebody come up, stabbed a shot or whatever, oh, they're throwing a book at you. You better take a deal because they don't. The thing is, we want safe schools, and the DA is gonna pursue that to the highest degree. Because especially you up there in Frisco. Frisco's one of the model towns in the DFW area. They ain't playing that shit. They're just not playing it. Let's read.
Biggest argument any of us have right now. It's not even about like that he don't deserve to be punished for his reaction. Because we're not saying his reaction was correct either.
That's good.
But I'm saying that young man don't deserve 35 years, who was a stand-up student who never got.
We don't know that. That's speculation there.
In trouble before, who's never been arrested, and he was scared.
Scared don't mean a goddamn thing. If you scared, you would have got up and left that situation. That's a bad defense. Again, you have to understand Texas law, man. Like before you even big show hand to grab that knife and do what he did, he should have read the room and got up out there and said, hey, man, you know, if you get your homeboy and everything, say, hey, man, I see you on the other side, man. Let me go out here. They tripping, blah, 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 this and that. Now, if he would have done that, and then they would have stopped him or whatever, they would have followed him or whatever in that nature, self-defense all day. Because, like, yeah, you had a knife, prohibited item on a school property, activity or whatever, but these folks are following you. You know, you defending you. They following you. They had ill intent, whatever. And if they would have been start punching on you and stuff, then you got to it and try to get up out of there with that because you can't, you know, you probably can't fight or whatever. That's more of a self-defense claim than just saying, well, you know, he touched me, so I stabbed him. Yeah, that's weird.
I'm not gonna argue with y'all ignorant ass niggas like that. That's crazy to me.
On ignorant ass niggas, you right now, man. Keep it a buck.
When you defend that, and you literally, it is a young man who got chased down.
That is not facts. I just went through the video. He was not chased down. Oh, unless you're talking about afterwards. Yeah, he was chased down because they were trying to get him to apprehend him so the police get him, you know, get him out of there because he stabbed somebody. Yes, that's another thing. But like, he wasn't chased and stabbed. So I don't know. Maybe he mean that. My bad. I stand corrected.
And his killer got off with self-defense. I ain't never seen nobody do some self-defense shit chasing somebody down. This is a young man who got chased down.
He talking I'm sorry about that. He talking about he didn't break it down. He talking about the Asian dude that, yeah, that was crazy. That's a crazy story. So I can only go by Texas law. Like, if the dude left and he'll run away and you chase him down and shoot, they could argue that's you went vigilante. So that's a whole different avenue. Oh yeah, he probably gonna be guilty in Texas. I'll keep it a buck. He did go vigilante a little bit. Let's read.
And his killer got off with self-defense. I ain't never seen nobody do some self-defense shit, chasing somebody down and shooting them in the back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Trayvon Martin, come on, y'all. Y'all got all this weird energy.
And in Texas, Zimmerman would be in jail because he called the police and the police told him to stand down, and he did, and he went. He didn't stand down. And that's how he got in that situation. He'll be in jail just off that because you're supposed to obey a law enforcement officer. Let's read.
About this shit, and you ain't saying nothing about none of these other cases. Get the fuck out of here. And then people love to bring up black on black crime, and man, look at it's a much deeper conversation that obviously a lot of you crazy people without common sense, it's not mature enough, intelligent enough to have a conversation with about it.
So we did have a conversation about it, and then we actually factor in things that goes against your premise and your value system stuff. Does that just make us dumb because you don't agree with it, or that how do we become dumb? How do we become smart in this situation? Do we have to agree with you to become smart, or can you take being on the opposite side of somebody and discussing the issues at hand and come to a consensus on something? I don't know.
Stay the fuck off my page.
Ooh, angry.
If you come with that energy, you weak as hell. If you feel like that, say whatever you want on your page. Straight up. And I mean that.
Don't mix and mingle, huh?
You know, cool. I'm a stand-up comic. I'm an actor. I'm a writer. I'm a director. I'm an entertainer. 100%. I love entertaining people. That is what I do. I'm going to continue to do that. As much as I post about this, I'm going to post-promote my movie, and I'm going to do all that stuff. But at the same time, that don't mean I don't stand for something. Mm-hmm. Somebody had the nerve to say, well, okay, so what if that was your son that was killed? If my kid was bullying somebody, my child was a bully, full blown, it would break my heart to know they got killed for something like this. But at the same time, on some real shit, I will have to own who the fuck my kid is.
That mean you didn't. Yeah, you ought to take the L on that because like that's parenting. Like bullies. See, the thing is for dads, we supposed to kind of work that out of the kids of like the bully gene. And really, a lot of bully gene comes from, like I said again, insecurity, don't feel capable of something, jealousy, fear of being the outcast. So they go on the extra, the bully tip. They try to control things because they know they don't feel like they are worthy of being around unless they control it. Because like a bully, 9 times out of 10, they don't have love in the household too. That's another thing. Like a lot of love in the household is gone. Or even either no love in the household or it's a lack of balance. Either somebody's super spoiled, getting everything they want as a kid. Mommy told them told people not to do anything to them, discipline them. The discipline's gone, or like they just traumatized and they lashing out on everybody. That's how you create bullies initially. So if these boys are bullies and everything, right? Why nobody else saying it? Yeah, that's real.
If I'm raising a bully, and most likely
you raise a bully, you'll know they're a bully. You'll know how they treat people. You as a man, you supposed to like, all right, you think you're big and bad. You supposed to, that's when you hit them in the chest, trying to get that bitch out of them. Because being a bully is just being an overgrown bitch in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? Because like somebody didn't get that out of them. You know, you notice like people who are bullies people who are not bullies tend to be capable and be confident with themselves. They feel like they don't have to go and hurt anybody and control anybody and anything, right? But people who haven't been, disciplined at nature, they think they shit don't stink. So if your kid's a bully, that more likely is a testament to your parenting. Let's read.
motherfuckers that move like that is coming from that type of environment. Point blank, period. And you saw when that father did his live, how he really fucking felt, where the fuck they got that type of shit from.
Yeah, that dad didn't do his family any favors. The media got to him on that one. That wasn't a good look. That was a crazy name he gave him, man. I mean, you could put it how y'all want to put it on that one. That's rigged.
It is right there, and I can't believe you people are arguing that. You mean to tell me you think that young man with no record, none of that shit, in a self-defense case deserved 35 years?
I already stated my point.
And Trayvon Martin's killers off. That young man who took a fucking AR-15 to a march, murdered people, and dude with the crime face got the fuck off.
See, Lil Rel, you need to kind of talk about, I mean, technically he probably shouldn't have got off 100%, but I would say this, man. You really probably need to look at who he did deal with in that nature. And I won't talk about Kyle Rittenhouse that much. Let's read.
For murder. He wasn't even charged with manslaughter.
Different states, man.
Come on, y'all. It's 2026. And what pisses me off, I expect certain things from certain communities, not from ours.
Now, notice he didn't give an example of what's going on in the hood where a rival school go to another school and be on that type of time. He didn't talk about that. But hey, he knows everything. We know.
And most of you motherfuckers sitting out here on some sellout shit.
Sellout shit. Okay. Look at fucking Hugh P. Newton over here. Bobby Seale over here, man. You tripping.
I'm sorry, and I'm trying to. You know, I was at church yesterday, and this is real talk. This happened at my church. It was a guy who comes sometimes he just sings. He's a great singer, wheelchair. Comes on with his caretaker. A lot of us was happy to see him because we ain't seen him in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And when it got quiet, he just yelled, "They're killing our kids. They're killing our kids. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?"
If you want to know what to do, if you feel like people are unloving our kids, right? This is what you do. You get them in some type of martial arts or or that nature. You know, if they're young enough, get them in some type of something that could use their hands and feet and whatever in, right? Then when they get a certain age, you teach them how to properly maintain a firearm. Clean, what to do if you see a firearm on the table, what do you do to make sure it's safe? It's safe to be around. You clear it, take the mag out, the whole nine. Face it away from you. But the barrel should go away from you. The whole nine, or to the wall, or whatever would be preferable. Little simple stuff like that. How to clean your weapon, what to use, how to all that stuff you need to be teaching them kids how to do. If you really afraid of them, people going out doing things to themselves, put that discipline in them. Make them aware of their surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Ultra aware of like how people moving. You know what I mean? And be respectful. A lot of times being respectful gets you out of 90% of the situation. Now you got people out here that it's always gonna be some shit, but hey, give me 1 second. We didn't get 1 point guard. We got 2 forwards. I'm confused I'm sorry. I'm a little confused. Yeah, we got 2 forwards. That's crazy. All right.
And yelling out in the middle of the service, and they escorting them out. But I remember sitting there like, yeah, the timing was a little whatever, but he ain't wrong.
All right. I'm done with this dude. I understand. Oh man, I went 2.5 hours. I might have to save. I didn't get to go get the World Cup stuff. So I'm gonna say Asmongold for tomorrow. The Hasan Piker thing. I'm gonna say that tomorrow. I went 2.5 hours straight fire. But hey, y'all like y'all like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna make a move, man. I'm about to go and eat something and everything, man. I'll go over that Asmongold stuff tomorrow and everything. And other things. We got some shows to go over. So tomorrow is gonna be mostly TV shows. We got I watched a new show, Nemesis on Netflix. House of the Dragon is back. Raising Cannon is back. It's episode 2. Friday be episode 3. Any other pop culture stuff we'll be talking about. But yeah, y'all know the deal. Like, share, subscribe. Appreciate everybody. Please leave a comment. You're doing replay, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.